What's good, YouTube? I'm Nova, and I'm bringing you guys my Cosmo deck. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I'll start off. I'm playing 3 copies of Farm Girl. Now, originally, I know most people didn't like playing this card at 3 because E-Telly was the thing. But now that E-Telly's gone down to 2, I feel like you kind of want to play the 3rd Farm Girl because your main thing is if you want to open with Farm Girl. If you're not opening Farm Girl, you're kind of slow rolling. Or well, I guess you're kind of the deck's really slow at that point unless you have Tin Can. But definitely Farm Girl. So anyway, Farm Girl's effect is during either player's turn, you can banish this card to special summon a level 4 or lower Cosmo from your hand, which is really good. And then when this card inflicts battle damage, you can pay 500 life points to add 1 Cosmo card from your deck to your hand. So nice. The thing I mean by you want to see it first is you want either normal summoner or E-Telly. That way you get it out on field. That way you can attack, deal damage, and then you can search the Cosmo card and then banish on the next turn so that you can drop your Cosmo monster that you added to your hand. Most likely going to be the Dark Destroyer. So 3 copies of Cosmo Farm Girl. Next up, we got 3 copies of Cosmo Tin Can. Tin Can, really good. With his effect of either player's turn, you can banish him to special summon a level 2 or higher Cosmo monster. You know, and then once per turn during the end phase, so your end phase, you can pay 500 life points to reveal 3 Cosmo cards, and then your opponent randomly picks one of them. You get to add that one to your hand, and the other 2 to go to the graveyard. So he's not as good as Cosmo Farm Girl, but you know he does get you. He doesn't have to inflict the battle damage, which is really nice sometimes, which is really nice generally. But it's pretty good overall to play him. So I definitely recommend playing 3 copies of Tin Can. Next up for the Psychics, the last Psychic Cosmo monster I'm playing is just 2 copies of Strawman. Strawman, he's really good. He's got same effect, banish, special summon a level 3 or higher Cosmo monster. But his effect is once per turn you could pay 500 life points to target one of your banished Cosmo monsters and special summon it, but its effects are negated. This is really sweet because he just brings back stuff that you've used to banish. So, let's say you've used a Dark Destroyer and it got banished, you just bring it back. Its effects are negated, but if it still gets destroyed, you still get to trigger the effect in grave. So, like, yeah, you don't get the pop, unless, like, you banish him at that same moment, then I think it's ruled to get the pop, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But overall, being able to bring back Cosmo monsters from the banished zone is really important, especially, like, just really important overall. So I like playing them at 2. I like to play him at 2 because I'm one of those guys who doesn't like to play cards at 1. I'm playing 3 copies of Slip Rider. Slip Rider, whenever this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you get to pop a spell or you target 1 spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effects and sent to the graveyard, you get to banish this card from your graveyard and special summon a level 4 or lower Cosmo monster from your deck. So you get to special summon one of your Psychic Cosmo monsters. So kind of cool. And the sweet thing is it comes from your deck. So it's like you don't have to worry about always keep maintaining those cards in hand. So you can just keep special summoning. Nah, they just let you special summon from the deck. So that's awesome. Moving on, we got 3 copies of Forerunner. I know people don't play Forerunner at 3, but I like him because it cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And then during your standby phase, you get to gain 1,000 life. So that's nice. With this deck, you're paying a lot of life points. So you kind of want to make up for some of that life points that you take. You kind of want to play Forerunner so you can gain that life back. And the ability to banish, say, a Psychic monster on your opponent's end phase and drop this card and then get the 1,000 on your draw after your draw is really good. And then he has the same effect. If this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the grave, you could banish this card and then special summon a level 6 or lower Cosmo monster from your deck. So again, you can go into Slip Rider, pop a back row, and then Slip Rider dies. You go into your Psychic monsters and begin the loop again. So you just keep paying them. And a 28 beater is really good. And then moving on to the next big guy is going to be Cosmo Dark Destroyer. The big guy of the deck, because this card is normal summoned or special summoned. You can target 1 monster in the field and destroy it. He cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect. And then when this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, You get to banish this card from your graveyard and special summon a level 7 or lower Cosmo. So you go Dark Destroyer into Forerunner, into Slip Rider, and you know how the combos go from there, right? You just keep gaining advantage off of just a couple cards cost. It's really good. And then for the last monster I'm playing in the main deck is just one Cosmo Dark Eclipser. I only play one Shock, but this card is kind of good because it cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, so that's pretty nice. Then during either player's turn, when a trap card is activated, you can banish one Cosmo monster from your graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. And if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add a level 8 or lower Cosmo monster from your deck to your hand. So not as good as, say, the others, because they could special summon from the deck, but you know, they can't make this card too broken, and you can't make the deck too broken. But Dark Eclipser, he's okay, and like, yeah, I mean, a lot of your cards are going to get banished, but there will be times, thanks to Tin Can, that you will have cards in graveyard, so you can still use the Dark Eclipser effect. But also, as a 3k beat stick, is just too good not to play. Moving on for spells, I'm playing 3 copies of Cosmo Town. Cosmo Town is just really good in general. It's once per turn you can target one of your banished Cosmo monsters, and then you get to return it to your hand by just paying 100 life, by losing 100 life times its level. So like, if you need one of them, one of the psychic guys, you're paying upwards to 300 life just to get like the farm girl, 100 life just for the tin can, or 200 for the straw man. So really good. And then you can still add the big machines psychics by taking more damage, but that's that, right? And then also once per turn you can reveal any number of Cosmo monsters in your hand and shuffle them into the deck, and then they draw the same number. So that, and draw an equal number anyway. That's really good, because if you have like a couple of machines and you don't want to see them, you can put them back into the deck and then draw, and hopefully draw into those psychic cards or better cards to use. Then if this card in the field is destroyed, in the field zone is destroyed by a card effect, you get to add one Cosmo card from your deck to your hand. So this card self-replaces, because it doesn't say you can't add another copy of itself. It just has to be any Cosmo card. So you can add Cosmo Town back to your hand. So really good overall. It's a really powerful spell card. It has 3 really good effects, so you kind of have to play it. Then I'm playing 2 Terraforming just to get to it, because it is a really good card to get to, because it just fixes hands really, really good amount. 2 Twin Twister, discard, pop stuff, you know, pop back row, go from there. E-Telly. Standard bust, it's just special summon a level 3 or lower Cosmo, special summon any of your psychic Cosmo monsters, but it gets banished during the end phase, but that doesn't really matter because you're going to be banishing it anyway. One reasoning, because this card's still really good, you kind of have to play it. I wish it was still at 3 because that'd be busted, but whatever, right? It's just, you reveal, and you have so many different levels, the chances of your opponent ever guessing the right number is pretty slim. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Raigeki, just for the board clearing, so Farm Girl can push really hard. And then 1 Cosmo Light Sword, because this card's actually really good. It's equipped only to a psychic monster, and then it gains 500 attack and defense. And then if this card attacks a defense position monster, it does piercing, so that's really good. But also, you could pay it when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. You could pay 800 life points and put it into your hand. So it kind of self-replaces as well for 800 life points. And then I'm playing 1 Soul Charge, just cause I was like, you know what, I want to wait just to bring back big monsters, so why not? I'll play this Soul Charge. As for traps, I'm playing 1 Warning, 1 Grand Horn, but Grand Horn would be Solemn Strike if I had it. 1 Bottomless. I'm still a fan of Bottomless. This deck plays a lot of life points, so I wouldn't play like the 1 Warning and the 3 Strike in this deck. I think that's too much to pay, as too much life points to play, especially when you're playing Soul Charge and all of these cards have life points costs. Then it's just too much, I think. Then Cosmojo, 2 of them. This card's really good. It's just target a Cosmo monster you control, destroy, and if you do, target 1 card your opponent controls or in your graveyard and banish that target is really busted. It's really good because it gets just like, it deals with stuff that can't be destroyed by card effects, so that's really good. But also, yeah, that's about it. And it sets off your big ships effect. And then 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. I like Call of the Haunted just because being able to go Call the Haunted, bring back, if say something happens to one of your guys, and they somehow send it to grave, or you drop Farm Girl and they warning it, and you didn't have a chance to use her effects, you just set your trap, activate it, and then chain on your and then on your next turn you activate it. And this is chainable to like you can chain this. Your opponent can like MST. You can chain this, bust out your monster, and then chain your monster's effect, and then you get to still gain the get the banish effect. So that's pretty good. And like the ability to bring back a machine from when the machine guys from the grave pot, and then get to the effect of that is so good too. I'm playing in the side deck. If I had another copy, I'd be playing 2 copies of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. You'll notice I don't play any Cyber Dragons in the main deck. I like the side deck, the 2 of them, but it's up to really up to you. The extra deck doesn't really matter most, but the only thing that really matters is the Fortress Dragon for the mirror match, because it's 1 Cyber Dragon plus 1 or more machine type monsters on either player's side of the field, and then this card gains attack for every machine. So if you use just 1 Cyber Dragon plus your opponent's monster, just one machine, that he's gonna be swinging for 2,000 anyway. For rank 3s, I'm just like this extra deck doesn't really matter, because a lot of times you don't really care to use the extra deck. Maybe a couple of the other guys, but for rank these, just 1 Giga Brilliant, it's an option. Nightmare Shark for game, still an option. Alucard just to pop back row, it's an option. Like there's other 3s you could play if you wanted to. For extra deck, Pallades, because he's really good. You can bounce back stuff like Call the Haunted. You can bounce back your opponent's monsters. He's a light, so 2 Slip Riders, so that's 2 back row pops, and then you can pop a monster your way and swing with 25 is really good. Volcasaurus Burn. Durendal shuffles hands back into the deck. It's really nice after your opponents try to set up their hand. You can just put it back in the deck. That's 5. So again, if you have any other 5 options, there's tons of extra deck room, so you can kind of play it. 7s, because we're playing Forerunners, the Draco Stack, the Big Eye, the Red Ice Flare. Just a bunch of standard rank 7s. I mean, you could play any rank 7 you can think of that you want to play. Rank 8s, 1 Giant Grinder. He also helps for burn. Felgrand protects himself. Number 23, Lancelot. He kind of wrecks the opponent by controlling whatever they play. Basically, yeah. And then Heartland. The new number 38, Dragon Titanium Galaxy, because he's too good not to play. That has been my Cosmo deck. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.